Thank you, Mr. President. You just thought you were finished with me after last 2 weeks ago, didn't you? Well, we're going to tidy up a little bit of business that we didn't get to during the last meeting. I see we still owe Larry Schischler a board service award, and I don't see him again here this year or this week either. So when he decides to come back to a meeting, we'll give him his award. But we also want to have an opportunity to present the Rotarian of the Year award. This year's recipient of the Rotarian of the Year award is a true example of service above self, not only to our club, but to our community as a whole. While he's only been a member of Cape West for a short period of time, he's already had an impact on our club that I believe will last for years to come. During my term as president, anytime I asked for his help, he eagerly agreed. His innovative ideas and his direct involvement in implementing those ideas were a key part in making this year's radio auction a tremendous success. His participation in the Public Relations Committee has provided exciting new benefits for our club and for all of our members. During his time with the PR committee, a new website's been launched and updated on a regular basis. Video makeups are now available on our website for all of our meetings, for all of our members to enjoy as a direct result of his expertise. As a result of his efforts with social media, more people are aware of our club activities and the success we're having. President Derek said of this Rotarian, he joined our club daring to make a difference, and he has not only met, but exceeded that objective. Please join me in congratulating the 2012-2013 Cape West Rotarian of the Year, Darren Bergfeld.
I checked the archives. I also believe Darren and his band played down at the Isle of Capri this weekend. I believe Darren is the first Rotarian of the Year to sing MC Hammer's Can't Touch This on behalf of our club. But it was a montage of Rick James' Super Freak too, which you really did a good job with that, Darren. You know, being president of a club like Cape West has some positives and negatives. Positives are you have this great legacy and great track record of success and achievement. You just know that with members like what we have, we're going to do something really positive year in and year out. The challenge, though, is trying to find ways to reach new grounds. You know, we've done so much as a club. To continue to set new improvements is kind of a challenge. And yet Ted Powers, as president last year, really set us out on a pretty significant challenge. And I think one of the great things that he did was encouraged us to, you know, use this human capital more that we have in this club. And so last year, with partnership with our auction committee, we made great improvements in the Humane Society's efforts in town. And a lot of that was certainly our fundraising efforts, but they will tell you a big part of that success was the partnership of having our Rotarians on the premises doing activities and providing leadership. Read to Succeed, with 400 service hours from our club, there are children who, they may not remember our faces, they may not remember our names for years in the future, but I have a feeling that the kids who were touched by us and that received our support and encouragement through Read to Succeed will always remember that investment. And so Ted really helped push us to reach new heights. And so it's a tough challenge to follow Ted as president, but I'm really grateful that he set us out on this great course, and I hope that we continue to follow that. I want to thank you, Ted, for your leadership this past year, and I want to award you this plaque that you can hang proudly.
Well, this pleasure again comes this week. Maybe I get to do this every week. I'm not really sure. This is pretty cool, though. We were able to rake some people in. Some of these awards here have been laying on my desk, I think, for a year, and some of them maybe even 2 years. So with that today, we get to present those. Paul Harris Fellowship, named by or from Paul Harris, who founded Rotary, 1905. And the fellowship was established in 1957. And of course, in 57, it was appreciation for contributions of $1,000 or more. It goes to humanitarian and educational programs of the Rotary Foundation. These programs include an array of projects that save and invigorate lives around the world. They enhance international fellowship and understanding. The foundation programs offer educational opportunities, food, potable water, health care, immunization, shelters for millions of persons. So that in itself is pretty well said. This is what we do. And we spend about $250 million a year. But we also put back that $250 million too. So it's always there and it's always drawn interest. So today we get to place in the hands of some people that have put together $1,000 to each one of these scholarships or each one of these fellowships, and we will start by naming. And if Rick, would you bring Connor forward? You don't get too small to do this, and we're very much pleased to have you as a Paul Harris Fellow. Speech. Norm has named his granddaughter Mindy, daughter-in-law Mindy, excuse me, and we present you this. Dayton, Grandpa wants you to have this, so we're sure proud of you too, bud. Thank you. Peyton was presented this by his granddaddy, and it has taken a little while to get it done, but we've got it there. So, Peyton Young. Judy. Judy, is great to present this to you. This, of course, was done with Stephen's help, and and mainly Judy's help. That's now good. But we sure appreciate all of this. We appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Well, we're really fortunate to have Tom Mogelnicki with us today. Tom is probably well known by many of you with his 30 years of service in Cape Girardeau in the construction field. But most recently, he's been steering the Cape County transit system. And he's here today to talk to us about the many different opportunities and challenges and things that are happening in the transit system. You see their vehicles. They're well-decorated vehicles through town, running people here and there, and providing a valuable link with our citizens and the merchants in town. So please help me welcome Tom Mogelnicki.
There. Okay. Thank you for having me today. I'm Director of Cape County Transit Authority, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history and background about Cape County Transit, type of riders, types of rides we do, and types of revenue that we have to get to keep the operation going. In 1997, we became a first-class county, and that's when they established the original transit business here in Cape Girardeau. In 2001, the county decided to purchase Kelly Cab, and when they did that, we became an authority, which is why we're called Cape Girardeau County Transit Authority, which means we are a true government entity. Even though the board of directors are appointed by the county commissioners, they really don't have any say-so on what we do. The board actually controls all the laws and bylaws that we have. I have to report to them every year, mostly because I get funding from them. But we get no hospitalization or anything else from them. We stand on our own, and sometimes it's tough because we can't charge the public what it actually costs to do this transportation. The type of riders that we have are seniors, disabled, low income. We do workforce transportation, and we also service the general public. And our motto is we take people to make money or spend money. So no matter what we do, it helps the community in general, because we're either the people who are making money or spending it, normally here in Cape Girardeau, or we're taking them somewhere to spend money, whether it's the doctor's offices or Walmart or wherever it may be. The types of riders that we have are cab rides. That's a door-to-door or curb-to-curb service that allows anybody in, well, anywhere in Missouri actually, but mostly Cape County, to call our dispatchers, which is on duty 24 hours a day, 6.5 days a week. We shut down Sunday at 2 o'clock and open up again on Monday at 5 o'clock. But other than that, we're open 24 hours a day, and you can get through a dispatcher at that time. We have what's called a true fixed bus route just in the city of Cape. And that bus route is, if you get time, is on this board here. We have 60 stops. We have two zones. We have a north zone and a south zone. A lot of people aren't familiar with the fixed bus route. It's taken a long time to educate the people of Cape Girardeau what a fixed bus route is. Fixed bus route has designated spots that we pick people up. If you're 2 blocks away, you have to walk 2 blocks to get to that spot. We do not go to somebody's door and pick them up. And it's really, really been hard to get the public to understand. I'm from St. Louis. Came to college in '65, and I've never left. But I grew up with public transportation. And I understood what a fixed bus route is. But a lot of people in Cape still don't understand. You got to walk 2 or 3 blocks, and we get calls, and they're mad at us because we won't come and pick them up, because the fee is only $1 for a senior or disabled, or $2 for the general public. They don't want to pay the $6 to $15 to ride a door-to-door service. They wanted you to do it for $2. Well, we can't afford it. It's just, it's not economically feasible. We have senior citizen coupon rides. What that is anybody from 60 or older can purchase a coupon at our office, up to 14, for $4 a piece, and that allows them to ride anywhere in Cape County for $4. And we probably do about 10,000 rides of those a month. Once the seniors have learned about this program, it's taken off, and usually by the end of November, I've run out of the funding, which is supplied by us through a tax revenue through the county. But they only give me so much money, and I can only distribute that money until it's run out. We also have what's called AAA rides, which is area agency rides, which are free, but they have to either be disabled or very low income to get that. They are free to the public. Again, we only get so much money for that. That source of rides runs out within 10 days of each month. The rest of the month, they have to pay the normal charge, or if they're seniors, they get the senior coupons. We also do transportation through Logistic Care. Logistic Care is Medicaid transportation, people that can't afford it at all. And that goes through a company that is hired from the state of Missouri to provide these rides. They call us and say, you pick up so-and-so here, you can take them here, or you take them there, but they control who uses that Medicaid ride. They have to fill out all kinds of applications to get it. And our Medicaid transportation we go to St. Louis, Poplar Bluff, Brothersville, Sikeston, all over the state of Missouri. In fact, we had to go all the way to Columbia, Missouri last week, because we're the only one of the very few transit providers in the whole state of Missouri that stays open 24 hours a day. And these people that are coming out of the hospital have to have transportation back home, regardless of where they're at. And on the weekends, we're the only ones open. I don't know why the other ones don't stay up longer or whatever, but we are. We charge them $1.50 a mile both ways. So that ride for that person, Columbia, I think it was like 45 miles from Columbia to take them home, cost several $100s. We do workforce transportation from Cape Girardeau to Perryville. We take people to the Gilster Mary Lee plant, both plants up there, 7 days a week, 4 times a day. So you'll see our vans, which is usually a vending van, one of our supporters, our advertising supporters, all the time on the road, because it's every day. It's nonstop, 7 days a week. We also do a lot of transportation on weekends. And those are normally in the evenings where people may get drinking too much. But it is a very important public service. Judge Camp ran into me in Jackson one day and said, "Tom, I want to thank you." I said, "Well, thank you for what?" He says, "Keeping the drunks off the road." I said, "Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. That saves them $300 or $400. He said, "Are you kidding me? The first offense is $10,000 for a DWI. I had no idea what it costs to have a DWI. That's the first offense. It's just by the time you pay legal fees and all the extra training you have to go through and this and that, it's big dollars." So more and more people are using Cape County Transit. When they feel like they've had too many drinks, they'll call us on the weekend, and there we are, we take them home. I got a couple funny stories about that. We'll go down, pick them up at a bar where Darren will be playing. And they'll come out, they'll say, "Go pick up somebody at Root Dog." And somebody will come outside, and the driver will say, "Well, where do you want to go?" "I don't know." They have no clue where to take them, but they want to ride home. And they can't think. And then there's other times, on a Sunday morning, after you take them home and they've recuperated, and this is a true story. They'll call and say, "We need a ride," and we'll go pick them up. "Take me to my car." Guess what? They don't have a clue where the car is. So we have to charge them extra money because we drive all over Cape Girardeau until we finally find the car. And then we get these other people that'll call us from home. We do a little bit of delivery service, but it's usually under contract. Like we'll have a medical company call us to pick up prescriptions at Walgreens or wherever it might be and take it. Sometimes to veterans' homes, sometimes to nursing homes. But we have guys that'll call us and say, "You give me a bottle of whiskey and bring it to my house." And of course, we can't do that because we don't take anybody in any of our vehicles until it's paid up front. We have learned if you try to say, "Oh, I got my monies at home," guess what? We never get that money. In all the rides that we've done, in fact, I wanted to go over all that technical. What I handed out here, I meant to go over first. In 2007, our budget was $1 million. Today, our budget is $2.2 million. Miles that we traveled in a given year in 2007 was roughly 62,000 miles. I should have brought my glasses. I think in 2013 it's 140,000 miles. No,
Yeah.
1 million miles. But we do 110,000 miles a month with our vehicles. And when we do that, our fuel usage is about 9,000 gallons a month. My monthly gas bill is $35,000 a month. We have employees. At one time was 36 in 2007, and today we have 74. So we employ quite a few people. Our payroll is about $1.1 million. So it's not a small organization anymore. And a lot of our drivers are part-time, and a lot of them are retired people who need something to do other than sit at home. They'll come in and apply for a 20-hour job, and they're our best employees we have. The drivers, it's a pretty good job, because if it's in the summertime, they have air conditioning, because they're always in their vehicle, or in the wintertime, they have heat, and they're not allowed to carry anything heavy. So it's a pretty good job, especially for retired people. And I would say 30% of our drivers are retired people. In vehicles, we've gone from 23 vehicles up to 40 vehicles, and those vehicles consist of our minivans to 15-passenger vans is what we use for our workforce transportation from Cape to Perryville. And you see our buses and our fixed bus routes, because they all have Southeast Hospital logos on them. They have they advertise on 4 buses. Those 15-passenger vans, Benning has 7 of them. Story of how effective our advertising on those vehicles are. Edgewater Glass was one of our first advertisers, and they said, let me have 3 back windows. In 30 days, they had so many calls, they ended up buying 9 more back windows. So they said it's so effective, they don't do any other kind of advertising but on our vehicles. So and we're taking in $50,000 a year to advertise the income now, and that's all net. So, I can say that because we only get so much help from the federal government and other entities in the Cape Girardeau area. When you pay $35,000 a month in fuel, you've got to pay that. And it's tough sometimes to pay all those bills. Any questions on those statistics?
My question would be is, I've been in Cape all a long time, but I really don't know what you do.
We transport people.
But do you have folders that people know about? How do they know about it?
I played music like Darren for 53 years, and I can't hear.
No, I say, how do people know about you? You don't advertise, do you?
Well, probably our biggest source of advertising is our vehicles. You ever see our vehicles running around town? I mean, we're 35, 40 vehicles running around with the CTA yellow light on top. Most people know about it, but not of them all of them know what we do. Our senior transportation, 65% of our riders are seniors. We go out to Chateau every day. I don't know how many times a day. Because Chateau has 1 bus. Well, they can only transport 1 or 2 at a time, because they'll take them to the doctor's office, and then that bus will sit there. Well, then nobody else can ride that bus because it's sitting there, so they call Cape County Transit. And we sell Chateau Girardeau, as well as many other nursing homes, retirement centers, these senior coupons, and they take advantage. I run out of them every year. Normally I run out of within the end of October. I run out of senior coupons, and then we have to charge a regular rate. Did that answer your question?
Partly. I just was wondering if you had any folders that you put out.
Yes, we do. I didn't bring any. I didn't bring any cards or anything. I just forgot. Cape County Transit's in the book. It's under cab. It's under taxi. It's under transportation, disabled transportation. We do a lot of in our logistic care, which is Medicaid. We do a lot of dialysis patient delivery. We'll have as many as 70 rides a day for medical needs through Medicare. And, you know, Medicaid. Medicaid's a small part of the public, because you really have to be low income to qualify for Medicaid. And when you're doing 70 rides a day, that's quite a few for a small community. We're no St. Louis or Kansas City, but we're a small community. But we're a big part of the community, because at the end of the year, when you do 160,000 rides in a given year, you've serviced a lot of the general public. And a lot of people say, why I need it? I've got a car. Well, you'd be surprised how many sons and daughters of seniors come into my office and buy these senior coupons so they don't have to go pick them up, because they're too busy. You know, today the wife and the husband both work, and so a lot of times they don't have time, and we do. We can help the senior population, and they'll give, at Christmas time, they may give 15 coupons to their parents so they can be independent and not be dependent upon their sons and daughters. So there's a lot of need at any age for public transportation. Going to work, we take a lot of people to NARS. A lot of them do fixed bus route, and a lot of them use our cab. We do a lot of students at Cape Central, where parents will set up a contract with us to take them to school and pick them up every day, because they can't do the regular route. Our fixed bus route goes through to the high school and the technical center every day, 7-8 times a day, and that's been very successful. We don't spend much time there now because the students are there, but boy, come opening the school, because a lot of students have to stay after school for either sports or some other kind of recreation, or they have to go to study hall or something like that. And the regular first student bus only comes one time in the evening and once in the morning, and so those kids have to get home too. So our bus stops at the high school, I think 7-8 times a day. Types of revenue. What do I do for revenue? Well, I'm always begging for money. You know, if the Rotary would like to give me about $10,000, I'd like that. Our biggest source of income is the federal government. Out of the $2.2 million, they give me roughly $600,000. The state gives me practically nothing. They 2 years ago cut me back by 85% of the funds that I was getting, which wasn't much to start with. I think this year, out of my $2.2 million, I'm going to get like $4,000. They've cut back on everything, mostly transportation. Of course, we argue with them all the time about we're the lowest subsidized state in the whole surrounding area of Illinois, Arkansas, by big dollars. I'm not talking about $2,000 or $3,000. I'm like, Illinois is 20 times more supportive of public transportation. If I'm going over, let me know, I'll stop. We get money from the city of Cape and Jackson. We get money from that AAA. We get money from Logisticare, which is Medicaid. We get money from the Senior Tax Fund. We just started a program with the SB 40 board to transport mentally disabled individuals to different locations. We do get donations, and our advertising, like I told you, is about $50,000, which is big help. We also are a Greyhound stop. We brought that back about 4 years ago, and people buy tickets at our office and pick up the Greyhound 7 days a week in the back of our parking lot, which is the old Medical Arts building on Broadway. So we do a lot for the community. Our biggest need is replacement of vehicles, because when you put 110,000 miles on your vehicles a month, they wear out fast. Most of the time, the federal government pays 80% of a vehicle, and we have to come up with 20%. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when each vehicle costs you anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000 your part, it mounts up fast. Yes, sir.
Tom, would you show us your fixed routes on the map, and are they on time as far as, is there a time schedule, and how's
Yeah.
the ridership as far as what percent of your riders are on the fixed routes versus?
We're doing about 800 people a week on the fixed route. Economically, it's very costly, but the federal government, that's what they want. They want mass transportation, and they're very happy with that number of 800. We try to be on time, and most of the time we are, but all our buses are handicap accessible. They all have ramps or lifts, and when we stop to pick up somebody in a wheelchair, of course, that takes an extra 15, 20 minutes. What does that do to your dead head? It just kills you, but you don't have any choice. And I tell you, we must have a big bullseye on the side of those buses and in the back, because people just think they need to hit it. It's just amazing. We could be sitting at a stop sign and all of a sudden, we'd be dead still. It's happened probably 12 times since I took over 6 years ago. I don't know how they can't see them. We got all the flashing lights, we got all the advertising on it. It's amazing. It's like we got a bullseye. But what does that do to our dead head? It kills it. Most of the time we're on schedule. We try to satisfy the public. Of course, if you're 2 minutes late, they're yelling and screaming. We get yelled and screamed at every day, but that's just part of it. Any other questions?
What kind of license have you got to have when we come down to drive for you?
Most of the time, Class E.
Okay.
If you drive anything over 12 passengers, you have to have a full chauffeur's license with a passenger endorsement on it. But most of our buses are under 12. Some are 18. We have one bus that will carry 30. But Class E, most of the time, is all you need, which is really easy to get.
Thank you.
You're welcome.